Hello everyone, this is Michelle and I would love to give you some guidelines for conducting your SDG research. These guidelines will be structured in 5 steps. So when you are going to research your SDG, it's first of all important to set your research goals. So what do you actually want to achieve with the research? A research goal could be to define the meaning of the SDG. So really understand what the SDG entails. For example, for SDG 16, what does peace, justice, and strong institutions actually mean? This could be very important to research. Secondly, it's valuable to look into the targets set by the United Nations for your Sustainable Development Goal. So the UN created several targets for each SDG to be achieved. It's very important to understand these targets set for your SDG. Thirdly, it's valuable to understand the main problems related to your SDG. For example, for SDG 6, clean water and sanitation. What are now the main problems related to clean water and sanitation? And lastly, understanding what the key stakeholders of your SDG are. So who is all involved in your Sustainable Development Goal? Stakeholders could be corporates, NGOs, the government, communities, and even animals or nature for some of the SDGs. Now we know what our goals are for our SDG research. It would help to narrow down our topic. By narrowing down our SDG, we get an overview of the related and underlying aspects of the broad concept. I want to give you an example with the SDG 12, responsible consumption and production. Making a mind map helps to get this overview. So you're just going to think about what are now aspects related to responsible consumption and production. So one of the aspects is waste. It's about waste which is produced. It's also about reducing. You want to reduce your consumption and production and therefore be more responsible. You also want to reuse materials and products in either to be consuming and producing responsible or even recycling it so you reuse it so you can reuse it again. But you can also think about ethics. When consuming and producing responsible, it's in a moral and ethical way. And you can think about sustainability because it's about sustainable ways of consuming and producing, so therefore being more responsible. When you consume and produce responsible, it's a lifestyle you take upon. And that's what we want to achieve, of course. We want to have people being used to consuming responsible. And you can also therefore think about education, because it's about learning and teaching people to reduce, reuse or recycle their consumption and productions. But important as well is to see that all these aspects, you can also narrow them down even more and see, for example, for waste, that there are different types of waste. There is food waste, energy waste, and water waste. And also for reusing, you can then think about the circular economy. So there are a lot of related underlying aspects of this broad concept, responsible consumption and production. So making a mind map is very useful. Now we have narrowed down our topic. We can use this to define the keywords we are going to use in our research. To make sure you don't miss out on any information, it helps to define synonyms for the concepts defined. So you can look at the word reduce, which is related to SDG 12. And you can see that synonyms are decrease, lower, or downsize. These are also valuable to take upon when you are doing research. And we also had the word waste, and synonyms for waste are rubbish, garbage, trash, and litter. So these words can also be used as keywords in your research. Now the last step is, because we now know what our research goals are, we narrowed down the topic and we defined our keywords, is that we are going to define the available sources. We want to know what sources we can use to answer our research questions. So we can think about different types of documents we could use, such as reports, studies, research papers, policy documents, news articles, and books. And you can also think about different videos, such as documentaries, informational videos, and news videos. So these are all valuable sources to use in order to collect research. Okay, so we have these documents and videos, and it's valuable to know by whom they are produced and which makes this source credible. So the documents could be produced by governments, educational organs, NGOs, think tanks, trusted news sources such as Al Jazeera, or experts, mentors. To know that these are produced by these different types of organs is that it's very valuable also to look in when a source is actually credible. So we will come back to that later. Now we know what kind of sources we are looking for. It's valuable to know which search engines we can use to find these sources. You can think about Google search, which is of course known for all of you and we use on our daily basis. But you also have Google Scholar, which is specifically for finding articles and books. We have GSTOR, which is a similar kind of search engine as Google Scholar and also to find articles and books. And lastly, we have Instagrok, which is focused on academic and trusted websites, which I will show you in a bit. So I would like to demonstrate these search engines first and show you what they look like. So going to the first one is of course the normal Google search, which we are all familiar with. Then we have the Google Scholar to really find articles. So we can type in circular economy. And we find specific articles about that. We can even see that it's a PDF about it. We can see the title, by whom it's produced, which year, and even how many times it's cited, which I will come back to in a bit. Then we have GSTOR, which is similar to Google Scholar. You can also type in, if it's working. Well, you can type in circular economy, and then it also searches different articles for this. And lastly, we have Instagram, which I'm clicking on now, but it's taking a little bit of time. And here we are. So Instagram is a specific website to give you more links and more information about a specific topic. So if you choose poverty and click on Grok, which shows a funny visual and it's going to show us a kind of mind map about poverty with a lot of different information, and Instagram is focused on academic and trusted websites. So here we see this kind of mind map and this overview with a lot of information. In the top, you can change the level of difficulty. So we want to increase the level of difficulty, and then we see that the related aspects are changing. So you can learn more about poverty threshold, the World Bank, International Monetary Funds, etc. And then when we go to this overview, it shows key facts about poverty. It shows related websites, which we can learn more about poverty, related videos, images, concepts. And even when we click on this button, quizzes, it shows quiz questions they designed based on poverty, which you can also use. So that about the different search engines we can use. So we had Google Search, Google Scholar, GSTOR, and Instagram, and there are of course many more, but I just wanted to show you a few which you can use in your SDG research. So lastly, I want to show you how you can see if a source is credible. So first of all, you can see it on the year it's published. You can ask yourself if this source is outdated. Secondly, you can see if the author of the source is known. When you know the author, you can cross-check their interest in publishing this source and therefore the credibility. You can also see how often an article is cited, which I just showed you. And this means that how often this article is used in different articles and therefore indicates the value of the article and often the credibility. And lastly, when you see if multiple sources state the same thing, then you can also know that it's more credible. So when you did all of this, it's of course that you have a lot of information based on your research, and then it's important to organize this data to get a clear overview of what you found, and therefore you can answer your research questions. So we hope this helped. First of all, define your research questions, narrow down your topic, define your keywords, go and find sources you can use, organize your data, and answer your research questions. We want to wish you a lot of fun in your SDG research and looking forward to see you next time. Thank you.